Hello everyone, it's Cabin Crew. I'm back with a Union Arena deck profile. There's few things in life I enjoy, eating junk food and sobbing uncontrollably, but a new hyperfixation just dropped, and I'm going to tell you all about it. That's right, I am currently obsessed with the new English Kaiju number 8 Kikoru deck for Union Arena. This deck is so aggressive, you're going to be feeling like a low tier god chasing his opposition down in the snow, hopefully by the end of this video.
And they're just chasing you, running at you like wolves in black capes. They tackle you.
Getting into the deck list, I'm going to try and be as informative as possible, because I really love this deck, so if you don't feel like listening to an out-of-shape Dominican man blather about his ratio choices to you, I'll have the list at the end of the video, also in the description. This deck strength is its speed and aggression, and I'll show you the tools that make it tick. We've got 4 copies of the 0 cost Kikoru. It's basically the doorknob of the deck. It opens the way to everything else good. Great raid fodder for our boss Kikoru later. Low BP. You're usually just keeping it in the back to help stabilize your energy or pitching it up front depending on the situation. And it also has a nice get trigger if your opponent sets up before you and gets a swing in. And it can serve as something to pitch if you need it with your searchers. We have 3 of the searching Soshiro. Excavator of the deck helps you dig, and if he's hiding in your life, you get a nice active trigger pep talk. Those are always nice. 4 of the 0 drop Reno. Solid card. Another raid fodder for our boss Reno. Perfect for early crash out missions. If I'm going first, sometimes I'll play him up front just to get a chip in, or if he's in energy, I'll push him out to scout out a special in my opponent's life. Great draw trigger too, if he's in your own life. We have 4 of the searching Reno. Another member of the excavation crew. Same positives as the previous one, but this one's just doing a little more digging. Thank you for your service. Another draw trigger. 4 of the 2 dropped Kikorus. Important distinction, even though she's a 2 cost, her text counts her as 3 once she hits the board. 3 is the operative number for this deck. She also gains plus 500 if another 3 drops adjacent. Great draw trigger. We love those in this deck. You're just constantly digging and cycling. We have 2 of the 3 drop Renos. Sadly, I'm usually pitching him with the searchers, but if I do get to play him, he's another raid option. He also becomes a 4K body on your turn. He just gains 500, and when attacking, he can give plus 500 to any other 3 drop that you have. Yeah, I wish I didn't have to abuse him so much, but he's a good card. We have 3 of the color trigger Kikoru. One of the best alt arts in the deck, I want to say. And she also has one of the most divine effects. Whenever she's played by any effect on your turn, she restands one of your APs for free. That's right. She is a mini AP restand. How could you not love it? Her color trigger double freezes your opponent until their next active phase. So make sure they keep that card rested. I like to put just like a physical reminder to signify, either on my, like if it's happening to me or my opponent, because sometimes people forget. It's not always intentional, but a desperate person might, LARP as if they accidentally forgot to cheat you out of a game-changing state, so just try to stay on top of that. We have 4 of the 3 drop Iharus. Active trigger, always sublime. This guy is a sign that the Kikoru reckoning is beginning. Whenever he's played by an effect, he comes inactive, and you can give plus 500 to any character on the field besides himself. He's malicious, and I love him. Great combo setup for what's next. And what's next is what I'd call the first engine of the deck. We have the 3 drop, no trigger, Kafka. We run him at 4. When played on your turn, you can pay 1 AP. If you do, you draw a card, and then you play up to 1 yellow character with 3 or less required energy and 1 AP cost from your hand set to resting. Let that sink in. Most of your deck is playable off this effect. You even draw. Absolute phenom of a card. I've thought about trimming him down to 3 to tinker with some other ratios and ideas, but it's tough. He's really good. We have 4 of the 3-cost raid Reno, the final engine of the deck. He can turbo this deck into a demolition derby as early as turn 3. I've done it. I'm speaking from experience. During your turn, he gains plus 500 if there's another accompanying 3-drop near him. And when played, similar to the Kafka, you can just play a 3 or less required energy and 1 AP cost for free. Now, if you're wondering, do I need required energy to do any of these effects? What's the catch? So, no, you do not. These cards do not state that you need to fulfill energy. A good example of a card that states that is Goodwill Event from JJK. That card is functionally the same. It lets you grab a card from the trash and play it. But what it's doing, it specifies that you need to fulfill the energy. These cards did not say that. There's a clear delineation. So don't let anyone shark you or say, hey, you don't have energy. The card doesn't state that. Like, read the cards. They will guide you to the promised land. That's the beauty of this deck. You are bypassing the energy mechanic to just spew out bodies like a factory. It's amazing, and I adore it, and it harmonizes so well. Finally, 4 of the raid Kikoru Shinomiya, the only 4 cost in the deck, the habitual line stepper.
You know, he would step across the line. Habitually, he's a habitual line stepper.
Once she's on board, she ramps off every 3 costs that's next to her. So at 1, she gains impact. At 2, you retain the impact and you also draw when attacking. At 3, you gain 1,000, making her a permanent 5k on both your turn and your opponent's turn unless the opponent removes one of her accompanying supports. Also note her when attacking effect. You can give plus 500 to any character. That's not tied to the 3-drop stipulation. I misread that because of the way this is formatted. I thought it was tied to that. And I've been playing like that for so long. So don't make my mistake. It's always active when she attacks. You're building towards her grand unveiling all game. She's your finisher, your closer, your impact queen. Play her wisely. She's the only card with impact in your deck. And anyone who plays this game, you know impact can determine games when it comes down to those last moments. Now to the technical cards, we run 3 accepting applicants. One of the best searchers in the game. You look at the top 4 cards and you grab any 2 character cards. There's no drawback. There's no, it has to be this energy, it has to be that. You just grab whatever you like. The rest goes to the bottom. And it's amazing. This keeps you from bricking, full stop. Always a staple. I'm never going to take it out. Has a draw trigger too. Then another fantastic searcher. 3 screening exams. We have it at 3. We look at the top 4, and you can play a 4 cost or less with 1 AP cost or raid with it. Crazy card, game-winning potential. These 2 in tandem, you are just filtering so much. You are going to have everything you need, and there's no way that you don't have what you need to play or just go bananas with the whole toolbox here. And we have 4 of the specials. So these are always obligatory. This one has a long name. I'm sorry, I'm too tired to read that. But the way this one works, you know, it starts at 2k. It jumps to 4k if you have a Kikoru on your board. And then if you have a 3-drop on the front line, it's a 5k. So make sure that you meet those requirements because the bodies in the game are getting hefty now. Even this deck, you can have a 5k out if you play it right. So it's not one of those specials where you can just drop it and say, oh, I kill you. You know, someone who's paying attention is like, wait, you can't kill this. You don't have a Kikoru. You don't have a 3-drop. My 5k is fine. So, finally, you'll notice I run no finals. A lot of players swear by them, and they're great for turn extension or saving you when things get dire. But this deck doesn't need them. They just clog your aggression. Don't fall for the final propaganda. Rise above, you final loving sheep. So, my closing thoughts. This deck is everything I love about Union Arena. Easy to pick up, high skill ceiling, tons of nuance the deeper you go. Equal parts raw brutality and combo sequencing. I went undefeated with this list at locals. I had matches over in about 5 to 6 minutes or less. Also, I took first place with this same exact list in a Discord community tournament I participate in weekly. Shout out to the guys at TCG Dojo. Great community. Good group if you ever want to practice. The results are up on Exburst. If you take a look, there I am. Look at me, ma, top of the world. All my homies love Exburst. Great deck building resource, and I'm usually on there to see what people are cooking up or just building my own stuff. So yeah, that's my list. I'm going to wrap this up with an example combo and closing thoughts if you've somehow made it this far. So here's a quick example of a basic combo you can do with the deck I wanted to showcase. Assuming it's your third turn and you have access to all 3 of your APs, your energy line looks something like this, and you've drawn into some variants of these 3 cards, but for this demonstration, you specifically have these 3 cards, right? On your turn, you pay the 1 AP, you'd go into the raid Reno because you have 3 energy. You would then activate Reno's Windblade to play out the Kafka. Since it's your turn, you're obviously going to choose to pay the 1 AP and draw. What do you know? You drew into an Iharu. You would play the Iharu, resolving the rest of Kafka's effect. And then, since an effect played Iharu, he would now come inactive and you can buff your Reno. Okay, you have 2 bodies, but wait, you still have 1 AP in the Searcher. Let's utilize that. You'd play the screening exam, you'd look at the top 4, and mind you, these are all targets you can now play for free, but obviously we're going to grab the Iharu. So the rest would go to the bottom of the deck. Screening exam would play out the Iharu, it would go to the sideline. Once again, an event, an ability, something played Iharu, he now comes inactive. You buff the other Iharu, you have 2 4K bodies, of 4,500, a 4K, and a 35, and you've stabilized your energy line. Do you see the harmony of violence, just this energy breaking, body spewing, game circumventing nonsense that you're orchestrating? I love it so much. So by this turn, you know, your opponent's going to be like, what do I do here? Well, a composed player is kind of going to slowly dismantle your board, but I've taken a lot of people by surprise doing things like that, and usually they're not even going to, they're going to drop their plans to, you know, sort of set up their energy or something like that. So let's say they just push things forward, and then next turn, after you get all your swings in, obviously, next turn you draw into your raid. Would you look at that? You'd go into it because you have the energy, and you're just prepped for more game winning. You just keep swinging. If anything happens, you just keep getting more bodies out. And yeah, most decks cannot contend with the level of aggression you're putting out here. It's phenomenal. I love it so much. This deck is perfect for early to mid-game engagements. You're trying to end games as fast as possible and completely frazzle your opponent. I don't think it can go the distance. It's not designed to. If you're looking for something more long-term, with a stronger toolbox, I'd recommend building Mina. She's the stronger of the yellow kaiju decks right now. You can perpetually stunlock your opponent like it's a fighting game, but she requires finesse and really tight energy management. Very pilot technical deck. I also pulled her signature, so I'm obligated to play both decks, but Kikoru is just too much fun to put down. I vouch for this deck so much, I actually want to do a little giveaway if you've been watching or paying attention this long. Starting off, all you got to do is just comment final sheep, and if you're interested, I will give you one of the raid Kikoru, one of the 3-drop Kikoru, this custom action point by Davidsontcg. I am not sponsored or affiliated, PS Davidson please, but I love his work. I buy a lot of his stuff for my decks, and an actual non-custom action point, a licensed action point for the English version of the game. These 3 Kikoru sleeves, if you'd like to use them for your action points. And finally, these Kaiju number 8 stickers. If you're interested in any of this or all of this, again, just comment final sheep. The first person to do so, this bounty can be yours. I'll get in contact with you, mail them out to you, no questions asked. But let me know your thoughts on this list if you try it. I've been having consistent success with it. Something I genuinely consider for a regional or any kind of competitive environment in the current English format. That being said, calling Union Arena competitive is a misnomer. You can play it competitively, don't get me wrong, the game's fun. I love the game. But intrinsically, it's a casual anime screenshot battle royale. It's not something you should be sweating over. So pick up your Kikoru, swing, go burr, and have a great time. I hope to catch you in the next video, which I probably won't make because I'm incredibly lazy. But take care. Thank you so much for watching.